So can you walk us through a particularly creative solution you sold to a client and how you navigated any obstacles in the process?
Sure. So there was a company that we were working with several years ago that was a pretty old school, like legacy company, not necessarily a first mover, not necessarily a high tech company. And so it was kind of an uphill sale. And I knew that not only were they not typical necessarily buyers for us, their existing solution, which was causing them a lot of problems, many of the people on the buying committee were the ones who brought in and implemented that current solution that really wasn't working well. And so I knew that I had to do something creative to get their attention, to keep them from just going with the other solution, but just doing an upgrade to the old thing they bought 10 years ago. And so this was an in-person meeting. There were probably 10 executives in the room. And and this was supposed to be a demo of and a technical demo. And we did that, but I started by telling them a story. And I started it by just holding up, I had an iPhone, but I had a pink Palm Pilot. Actually, I have it here because I still use it. I held it up at the beginning and I said, I want to tell you a story about this. And I just told them, when I was a single parent 10 years ago, this is the phone that I had. And I thought it worked perfectly well. And I loved it. I loved a lot of the features about it. But I had a friend who worked at Verizon who was constantly talking to me about an iPhone and said, you should try it. You can do X, Y, and Z. And I was like, I'm a single parent. I am not trying to have a higher phone bill. I already have this that I like. I'm not interested. And he just kept persisting and persisting, but none of the features that he was talking about were important to me. But finally he was so insisting, he said, I'll just give you one of my trial phones. You can try it. And so what I noticed when I was trialing his iPhone, was that it had a budget app that I couldn't get on my Palm Pilot. And it allowed me to scan my receipts. And so instead of it taking me hours on the weekend to understand my very tight budget, I could spend minutes with this app, categorize it, know where I was, and then go do stuff with my kids. And so I ended up switching to the iPhone, not because it had great email, not because I could play games on my phone, but because it's had something that spoke to the pain that I didn't even know I had, right? I had something I thought I was happy with, but it was actually part of the problem. And so what I asked them was, I said, I'm just asking you to consider that you may not know what you may not know. And if you will just hold some space in your mind, just hold it open for a little bit to see if there may be something we can help you with that you didn't know was a problem. And then we went into the technical demo that met all of their requirements that they were asking us for. We didn't do one or the other, but we just started with that. And they ended up signing a large deal with us several months later. But if I had just gone straight into the demo and just ticked off their buying requirements, they would have never looked up from their laptops.